Eric says, best channel, best speakers by Bitcoin. G Money says, Robert, can you tell us a big secret behind green initiatives and the move to carbon-based currency and your thoughts on a U.S. social credit score? There's a few questions there, so let's talk about them. Let's talk about the U.S. social credit score first. What do you think of that question?
Well, I think it's called surveillance capitalism. And that's why, my friend has Siri and Alexa and all that stuff. I want a little bit of that stuff around me as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know they're tracking. I know they're going to track us on this program. And that's called censorship, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing is self-censorship, because I'm so afraid what YouTube's going to do to me or Twitter's going to do to me. I self-censor. And that's called fascism.
Yeah.
But
I've got a self-censor as well too, and I'm casting. Like, I know that there's certain things I can't say in certain areas that I won't go to, and I just reserve that for off-air stuff, right?
Correct. When having dinner one-on-one and stuff like that,
right.
Can't be censored. But anyway, but this is the thing, Rich. There's always the outside. We cannot control the outside that well, but we can control this inside. And that was the thing I learned in the Marine Corps. Can I be a leader? It meant my own brain, my own emotions, my own spirituality, and my own physicalness. I can control me. So I'm a leader inside of me. And that's why what you and Rollo are saying really strengthened this for me, because I was getting my ass kicked by women and my weight physically. I had lost control here.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I was in a double L Ralph Lauren shirt and a 40-inch waist.
I think that the notion of the U.S. social credit score that this guy's referencing is probably along the lines of what's unfolding now, that's starting to look like what China's been doing, where it's like, if your credit's not good enough, if you go outside and do something that's not agreeable to the government, or you haven't been vaccinated, for example, you haven't taken certain shots and you lose certain privileges. Like, even right now in Canada, you could argue that there's a social credit score because I can't get on a plane and travel because I haven't taken a government vaccine, right? So, I mean, there is a social credit score that's starting to unfold here. Like, have you started to see that happening more? Or?
Well, I was in Dallas, Texas with Gammon, and I said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, because I have my own private jet and my money stashed offshore.
So, lesson there, guys. Money solves a lot of problems for you.
And I'm going to get a second passport.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Second passports are a very, very good idea. Actually, I had a guy on, David Lesperance. He's a ex-lawyer that lives in Poland. He's a Canadian guy, and he was telling me, and he was breaking down all these reasons and all these examples. And it was on this cast too, so it's on this playlist on Playing to Win. And he was breaking down the reasons for second, third passports, how your ass doesn't need to be where your assets are. Like, you can have your assets in another country and your ass somewhere else, sort of thing. Very, very good concept. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch it, because it's an introductory into it. I'm going to have David on again in the future too, by the way.
Yeah.
So G Money here said, the big secret behind green initiatives and the move to carbon-based currency. So what are your thoughts on that part of the question?
Well, God bless AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that communist prinkup. Well, when she came out with two things. With the Green New Deal. I don't know if she came up with it, and then tax the rich, right? So I said, okay, I look at that, and a capitalist can figure that. If you can't outthink a socialist or a communist, hang it up, man. Capitalists are capitalists because they're very creative individuals. So I called my other friend. He's talking to me, and he says, I'm going to start a carbon credit company. So the ALC is driving everybody into carbon credits. They've been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I just made another couple of $1 million because I financed a carbon credit deal.
Yeah.
Everybody has to buy carbon credits from me. God bless AOC. And just go. And a carbon credit is really a tax on like Exxon and the airlines and all this. What happens now is Delta Airlines has to buy carbon credits from me. God bless them.
Do you think that the carbon credit, social credit system that's coming, I can't remember who did this tweet. It was a guy from Sweden, and it said something along the lines of, it's, the year is 2032. You get into your electric car, which won't go anywhere because you've already utilized your mileage for the month and exceeded your carbon credits. You then walk to the grocery store to pick up your groceries and some steaks, and they won't let you check out with your steaks because you've exceeded your carbon credits. So you have to go home with a bag full of bugs. And that's your dinner. Like, it could get to that point, could it not? Like, don't you think?
You never know, Rich. You never know. I mean, I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad in '97. I came a cash flow board game, which this is part of it. You know, it's a financial statement. Okay, you got to have a financial statement today. Most people don't have one. But the reason I can borrow so much money is because of that. But that's my way of saying in 96, 97, I knew it was going to get worse because I flew behind enemy lines in 1972 to buy gold. I paid $50 for it. That was a lot of money back then for a Marine lieutenant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think, Rich, I didn't think it was going to get this bad. You know, so it's gotten a lot worse than I imagined. So is it going to get worse? Possibly. But I'm preparing for it, not you know, hiding in a bunker, if you know what I mean. I'd rather be like a Patton on the front line, General Patton, than a bunker bunny general hiding behind afraid of a gunfire.
Life seems to be a series of problems and challenges, you know, especially for men. And I've always said to guys, you know, when they ask me, like, you know, when it comes to entrepreneurship, Rich, like, what do you think is the number one trait that you should have? And I've always said problem solving skills, because that's what being an entrepreneur is. You've got to solve problems constantly. How important is being able to solve problems when they come at you in life?
Well, again, it's skill sets. It's what skill sets do you need to solve the problem? Like, you know, if somebody has a plumbing problem, I can't solve it for them. I'm not a plumber.
Right.
But finance, I understood. So that's why I've been studying money since I was 9 years old. I've been studying the Fed since I read The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. And in my book coming out, the Fed is actually Marxist, but people don't know that, which goes back to what I studied at the academy, the Communist Manifesto. Marx and Lenin said a central bank is essential to communism. And this is the third central bank is the Fed. You guys have the, you know, Canadian bank, you have the European Central Bank and all this. And they control the show.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I have gold, silver, and Bitcoin, because I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Now, you have to deal with them, but you don't have to be a victim of them.
Yeah, you can structure your life in such a way where you're not under their thumb all the time.